Hello, beautiful mothers. Welcome to the Ministry of Motherhood. This is a community of mothers who are loving, caring, dedicated, committed, and intentional about motherhood. Once again, you're welcome. My name is Mfona Basita. Today we want to look at why we refer to motherhood as a ministry. And first, we want to ask ourselves, what is ministry? Ministry is service. When we look at the people that we refer to as ministers, especially in the Christian fold, these are people who are called to serve. Same with motherhood. Same with mothers. Mothers are called by God to serve with a purpose. Now, if you look at Ephesians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12, we will see the fivefold ministry as referred to it in Christendom. The fivefold ministry. The first is the apostles, and we have the prophets, and then we have the evangelists, we have the pastors, and then we have the teachers. Recently, God began to open my eyes to see that the fivefold ministry is embedded in motherhood. Let's take it one after the other. The apostles. Who are the apostles? The apostles are the founders, the pioneers. Who is a mother? The mother is the one who births the child. She gives birth to the child. That is the foundation of a child, being given birth to. So that is the ministry of the apostle in a mother's life. You give birth to that child. The next one, which is the prophet. The prophet is the discerner. Mothers are discerners. Tell me, in a home, who sees beyond the surface? When a child is going through stuff, who first detects it, or who is supposed to? Yes, most of the time it is the mother. And it is actually supposed to be the mother, because the mother is supposed to act in the place of a prophet, in the ministry of a prophet in the life of her child. So as a discerner, you see beyond the surface. The prophet speaks to the future. As a mother, God expects you to stand in the ministry of a prophet over your children, shaping their lives, their future, and their destinies, and even that of future generations, with the word of God through prayers, through prophetic declarations. And then the next one is an evangelist. An evangelist is a proclaimer. An evangelist proclaims the good news. And a mother should proclaim the good news of the word of God to her children. Somebody once said, if you cannot win any soul for Christ, at least win the soul of your children. And so a mother stands in the ministry of an evangelist to her children. Now, the next one is a pastor. What else do we do than to care for our children? We care for our children. We love our children. A pastor is a shepherd. What does a shepherd do? A shepherd cares for the sheep, protects the sheep. That is what a mother does. A mother cares for her children. A mother loves her children, nourishes her children, protects her children. A mother stands in the ministry of a pastor to her children. And the last one, definitely not the least, is the ministry of the teacher. Who else but the mother? She is the first teacher of a child. She instructs. A teacher is an instructor. She instructs the child. She teaches the child. Right from birth, she begins to teach the child. She teaches the child virtually everything the child knows until the child begins to interact with other people. And so you see the premium that God has placed on motherhood by embedding the fivefold ministry in motherhood. It's amazing. It's amazing that God has trusted us so much as mothers to embed the fivefold ministry into us. He has called us to be apostles, to be prophets, to be evangelists, to be pastors, and to be teachers to our children. How have you fared with this call? That is what we are all about in this community. Fulfilling this ministry that God has given to us as mothers in the lives of our children. Now, if you go to the very next verse, that is verse 12 of Ephesians chapter 4, you'll see the purpose for which these ministries are given. What is the purpose? The purpose is for growth. The purpose is for health. The purpose is for maturity. And so as a mother, what is the purpose for raising these children, for fulfilling your ministry in the lives of your children? The purpose is for growth. The purpose is for health. You want your children to grow. You want your children to be healthy. You want your children to grow to maturity. And it is not just the lives of your children that you are affecting. It is the lives of your children. It's the lives of the generation unborn. Generations unborn. Now let's look at examples of mothers who fulfill the ministry of motherhood. An example is Lois in 2 Timothy chapter 1. You see Paul referring to Lois, the grandmother of Timothy. He says that faith was first in Lois, the mother of Eunice, then in Eunice, the mother of Timothy, and now in Timothy. How many generations? That is the ministry of motherhood. And God expects us to fulfill that ministry. God is looking up to us to partner with Him to affect generations unborn. Another example that we would like to look at is Susanna Wesley, the mother of John and Charles Wesley. We read of her up till today, and we see her work affecting generations, several generations, long after she has gone. We have heard of how she prayed for her children. We have heard of how she trained her children. She excelled in the ministry of motherhood. John and Charles Wesley are the founders of the Methodist Church. I'm sure we've all heard of the Methodist Church. Till today, the impact of Susanna Wesley is still on. Lives are still being impacted by one woman fulfilling the ministry of motherhood. How about you? That is why we are here as a community of mothers who intend to fulfill the ministry that God has committed into our hands, the ministry of motherhood. Let's arise together. Let's arise to fulfill our ministry as mothers in the lives of our children, impacting generations unborn. Tell me you're ready to go with me on this journey. Let's go together. Let's do this together. Let's affect generations unborn for God. Let's raise goodly and godly children that will not just impact their generations, but will impact generations unborn. If you have watched this video up till this point, please like, subscribe to this channel. Let's go on this journey together. Share with other mothers so that they can join this community. Interestingly, the ministry of motherhood has the acronym MOM, which is mom. So type in the comment section, mom, and let's go on this journey together. Let's change the narrative. Let's affect generations unborn for Christ. One video at a time. See you in my next video.